All right, guys, welcome back to another episode, Persuasion by the Pint. Jonathan Taylor along with
Sean McCool.
So, as you can see, we are live today at a remote location.
Yeah, top secret, clandestine location here. Casual Pint.
Yep.
Craft beer market.
As you can see, we're ready to begin our taste test, Sean. So tell us, I guess before we get into the topic today, this is episode 39. So what are we sampling?
Well, let me tease. Can I tease the episode first?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I figured we'd do like a random set of kind of things. So it's kind of a random show today since we're out, we're enjoying the weather. Mm-hmm. So I've got a list of things. So I'm going to call it like a flight of persuasion today.
That's good.
And then like a flight of beer.
That's right. I remember.
So we'll do a flight of like these nice dark beers, and then we'll also do a flight of persuasion and influence topics.
I think it's good
across the board. So,
right.
So that's what's on tap for today.
Oh gosh, you got them all lined up, man.
I've got notes. I've got everything. All right, so we're going to drop my card. And I've already had my.
We're going to shoot from.
I've already drained the first glass, so I'm good.
We're going to shoot from the hip today.
Absolutely.
So we've got a lot of random things that we're going to talk about. So this is what this show's about. So last week we had a couple of guests on. Today we're going to do some random stuff. Shoot straight from the hip.
Yep.
We're going to talk about some of our own experiences this week in business. It's been a fun week. You had to fire somebody. I had
like I should have my own TV show.
Yeah, I know. And
fired.
It actually relates to a book that we have talked about. I don't think we really just kind of skimmed through it. I don't know if you've gone through it much, but I'm going to mention some examples from that book.
Cool.
One of Michael Masterson's book, Power and Persuasion.
Yeah, and I'm reading actually a different Michael Masterson book right now with one of my clients, Ready, Fire, Aim.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, too.
We're both kind of on the same.
That's a good one.
Business building, business leadership, same kind of topic. So it's going to be a fun show. We'll it may even be two parts. I've got quite a list here to go through. But back to the beer, the most important.
Back to the beer, the most important thing.
I mean, persuasion's important, but let's be real. That's not why we started the show.
That's not why we do this.
All right, so we've got a Black Abbey. Mm-hmm. I'm looking up at the board up there. It's called like a something knocked, which I guess means dark.
Yep.
Then we've got a Blue Pants Candy Bar Pinstripe Stout.
Oh, man,
that's a mouthful.
Say that one more time, real fast.
Blue Pants Candy Bar Pinstripe Stout. So I don't know if that's like the name of a couple of strippers at a bar, or if that's the name of the drink. I'm not sure which that was.
Right, I don't know.
We've got the Highland Imperium, which is like a Russian Imperial Porter or Stout.
Okay.
I don't remember if it was which one it was.
Okay.
Then we've got the Highland Midnight Summit, which that's what I
look, see, Sean's already started a little beforehand.
That's what I had earlier was the Highland Midnight Summit Stout. So we're going to start with the Black Abbey Knocked.
All right.
So, cheers.
So this is my first. Cheers to you.
Well, that's tasty.
Yeah.
I like that. So that is Black Abbey, which is this brewing company.
It's a little it's sweet, but it's not too sweet.
Yeah, it's almost what does that taste?
I don't know. It's
got like a little aftertaste to it. I'm not sure what that is.
What's the ABV on this one?
This one is 7.
Okay.
So it's 7886.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't find any 10 plus, sorry.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
It's got like a cool little taste to it. So
you got to send me the link on all these so I can post them. We'll get these posted on the show page.
Take a picture of the board up there in the Casual Pint. So Casual Pint, first of all, I don't know like nationally, and I know we're international too.
Yep.
Intergalactic. Like I'm not sure how big Casual Pint is in the other galaxies, but what it is a franchise, and like I know this one and the one in Farragut are not owned by the same people.
Right.
So it's two different things, but it's kind of they're trying to bring back the whole neighborhood bar kind of feel, and this one is much like this location is just usually busy, like compared to the one over by where I live.
Yeah, we got several. There's one over in Maryville, close to where I live, over that way. There's
one downtown on Market Square, or right
Market
off
Square.
of Market Square,
There's
which
one
is
off
always
Chapman
busy.
Highway. I mean, they've got a lot of places around, so it's really growing. But we love it. We used to. I mean, I guess probably a couple of years ago, we started meeting here with our friend Ben.
Yep.
Occasionally, we would get together, and some people from a previous meetup group that we had, and
we have a visitor.
Oh yeah, he likes the sweetness. Now, which one was that again that you drained?
That was the Highland Midnight Summit.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we have a spring visitor, a wasp, joining us for the show.
Show no fear.
He has very stinging commentary when he.
Oh, easy
killer.
All right.
So back into the show.
Yep. So topics. Let's get right into it.
So I wanted to bring up, just like I said, these are going to be kind of random, but I'm old, so I still watch like network TV as opposed to Netflix and that kind of stuff. And, and one thing I noticed was Verizon has switched up their marketing campaigns.
Okay.
They had the really goofy guy, actually a couple of goofy guys.
Right.
And they would kind of do this banter, and it was kind of, a little cheesy. And it was all about Verizon. It was about their network, about their plans, about all that kind of stuff. Well, they did this. They've totally switched, and now there's a huge like white set, and they show like the sound and the lights above it, so it's kind of panned out, so you kind of can see the set, but it's just a big white set. But what they're doing is they're doing stories, customer stories. Like, for instance, one of the stories is a lady was in a car wreck, and she used her Verizon coverage. She was out in the middle of nowhere, and she was able to still get coverage and call for help. So it's much more emotional, much more story based. There's another one about like a friend's party or something. Like, it's just a lot more story based, which is what we've been talking about the last few weeks, is just bringing that story, your customer journey, making your customer the hero, all that kind of stuff. So I just thought it was it's a very dramatic shift from what they were doing. So now it's very customer. It's still about their service and their coverage, but in a much more emotional way.
And I'd say when you got the competition has raised so much over the years that you got to do something different. It's not about can I hear you now anymore. Everybody's got pretty good service,
and
so they've got to do something completely different.
And the other option is to go with low price, and which is kind of where all the companies, Sprint, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, they've all been kind of playing that $40 a month, whatever. But then again, you're not going to compete with, Walmart has their brand that's like $25 a month for unlimited. Well, you're not going to compete with that.
No, it's hard to. And so another thing is some of these companies are starting to introduce their own streaming platforms now for... In fact, I got a telemarketing call this week from the company that we use for internet, who was trying to sell us on a streaming platform. You can get all this stuff. And I was like, sorry, lady. Or sorry, ma'am. We already have like Sling, Netflix, Amazon Prime. I was like, listen, what value? It's like, I'm sorry, we already have this stuff. There's no need for me to add this on when I've got all of these other platforms that I can access.
It's like I got an email yesterday from Spotify that as a premium Spotify member, I now get Hulu. Like there's all these, they're starting to bundle stuff. So it's not the premium Hulu, but it's like I get the next step down from premium Hulu to just for being a Spotify member. And Spotify has only cost me $10 a month or something like that for premium. So it's interesting.
And Sling is only $25, which is less than what she said the package would be. I'm like, I think you really need to reevaluate things because
you might want to look at what everybody else is doing. So,
that's interesting though that they are engaging their customers in story. Because we had a couple of guests on last week where we talked about stories, integrating stories, especially our first guest, Dan. Salva. Yes, Dan
Makes me think of
Salva.
MMA, Silva.
Salva.
But yeah, it's not the same guy.
So he talked about, the stories, but integrating more than just the storytelling, but integrating purpose into those stories. So I doubt Verizon had anything beyond.
I mean, this is the first time I think I've ever seen something like that from Verizon. So
Right.
it's just interesting that as we were talking about that, and,
Right.
and I saw those new commercials. So that's my one topic. So
Okay.
I think we should finish that up,
Yep.
and then go to the next one.
Yep.
All right. I like when I turn it over and slam it down, like one of the Indiana Jones movies. Which one was that they were? Him and the woman were like.
I think that was the
second one.
Second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're really showing our age.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
All right.
But I think they're going to do another one. So
are they?
That shows. Imagine
it's 80s nostalgia. Of course, they're going to do another one. Did you? By the way, did you see Captain Marvel yet?
I did.
You did?
Yep. That was good.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, it was. It was. I wasn't super excited, but it was definitely good.
Yeah,
I didn't get a thumbs down.
It was not, obviously a bridge movie.
Yeah, and that's why
the
we
next
saw it.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I thought
talk about Persuasion.
I've never seen Samuel Jackson look so young. I mean, the guy's 70 years old.
It's amazing.
And they somehow managed to make him look like he's 30.
Yeah.
In the movie. That's incredible.
Hollywood makeup.
Yeah. Incidentally, I saw I think he was on either 60 Minutes or 48 Hours on CBS the other night after one of the basketball games, and they were interviewing him. And it was an amazing interview. I got sucked into it because he was just talking about, this guy's a workaholic. You see all the movies he's ever been in. Mm-hmm. But he was going through some of the history, and they said, he said that he is at his best when he can be intense and angry, So you think a lot of the characters he's played personify that.
Yeah.
And but he was showing they're asking what's your best line? What was your favorite line in any movie that you can come up with? Of course, they hit him. I don't know if they hit him on the spot or he was prepped for that. I'm pretty sure they hit him on the spot, but he went back to Pulp Fiction, where he's got the quoting the scripture before he does the guy in.
I saw the other night. I was flipping through channels and The Negotiator was on. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, sure. With
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey. I remember that.
That was good.
It was.
And that was that character, super intense,
angry. Yep.
Angry.
Yep.
Yes. That's his thing, and he does it really well.
Yeah.
And then in the Kingsman movies.
Oh yeah,
where he's the bad guy.
Man, you just listen. I forget about those.
Kingsman,
guys in everything.
And then Glass.
Yep.
The bad guy in Glass.
Which unfortunately, that was kind of I didn't like the.
Did you see the final? I haven't seen the final one yet.
Yeah, I have, and it was
not
disappointing.
Really?
You should see it. You should definitely see it. But
to round out the trilogy.
I can tell you it's disappointing.
I'll rent it. It's not very persuasive of you. All right.
I'm sorry. It's hard to be.
All right, so let's go to this is the big one. This is the Blue Pants Candy Bar Pinstripe Stout.
Ooh, okay.
We'll call it PBCBPS for short.
When you say candy,
I don't know.
It's got to be a little sweeter.
That's their words, not mine. It is an 8%. So
yep. Okay. Cheers.
It's going to be a little sweeter.
Oh yeah,
that is definitely sweet.
Yeah, that's got it makes me wow, that tastes like a caramel. You know?
Yeah. It's definitely candy. It's got a candy taste for sure.
The aftertaste makes it definitely feels like a caramel. Like
it's almost like caramel. That's almost like a liqueur instead of a beer.
Yeah, it's like a cross between eating almost like a black Twizzler, one of the licorice Twizzler, and a caramel all at the same time, maybe.
Okay.
Which is not pleasant.
I would not have gone there, but okay. They say everybody's taste buds are a little bit different, so I would go with
mix.
I would go with the caramel. The licorice, I don't taste that, but it definitely has
the caramel aftertaste.
Yes.
That hits me. That hit me strong.
All right, so You want to talk a little bit about you're reading Persuasion and Power?
Yeah, Persuasion and Power. So before I get into that book, there's an excellent book, and I think I've mentioned it previously I don't know if I've mentioned it on a previous podcast or just when we were talking, but there's a book out there that I recommend anyone check out who's listening called How to Get a Meeting with Anyone.
Oh.
Fantastic book. In fact, it'd be worth just running through even a half episode on that book, but
I will make a note.
It's a game changer for me because I read that book like a couple of years ago, and it was probably one of my, I would say it was the all-time best book that I read back in 2017, and I still keep it. I've got it bookmarked, kind of dog-eared and bookmarked at different places, but the whole point is, how to get the guy that wrote it is a former cartoonist with the New Yorker, and so he's a really talented individual, but he used, and you don't have to be an artist, but he used a lot of his cartoons, but he used them in a tailored message to get meetings with large, big executives out there. And again, you can do it your own way, but the point of the whole book is you've got to really be personal in how you go about, but you can get a meeting if you go about it the right way and use the right strategies. Mm-hmm. You can get in front of just about anybody you want to. It's not going to work every time,
right? But
he's used the strategy time and time again to get in front of CEOs, presidents of companies, and so I took a lot of this, some of his strategies from the book and used it and applied it in my own way, and I've used it throughout my business in trying to get a hold of people that I want to get a hold of. And I don't use, if it's somebody at the top of the chain whose time is very important, they don't have time to waste on phone calls or emails, then I use the strategy of sending direct mail. And so this past week, actually I did it, and we've talked about in time using some of the strategies from Never Split the Difference, where he talks about that email subject line. Mm-hmm. Well, in this case, I wanted I'll give you an example, a little history. There was a manufacturing customer that I worked with their production team last year. I went in, and their one of their lead engineers needed some help with a problem. I came in with a solution, not only with a product, but also some different ways they can change the way they do their process, and proved it out. We ran some tests on it last year, proved that it could save them over a given year, it could save them about $50,000. So
that'll buy a lot of beer.
Yeah, absolutely. So they were all in favor of it, and they actually moved forward. Well, what happened was they moved forward without kind of the president of the company really knowing what was going on. And things got, when he found out, regardless of the fact that they were saving money, he got upset,
right,
with his team, and because they had done business with XYZ company over here for a long time. It was about the relationship, as you know.
Yep.
So he got bent out of shape. Ended up the process manager called me back, engineer called me back, and was like, you know what, the CEO of the company just put the kibosh on this. I'm like, really? I have proven out. So, I showed you, we ran all the data and everything, and I showed it. So I said, you know what? He said, man, I wanted to do this project, but it looks like the CEO is going to put the kibosh on it, and we're not going to be able to do it. So ouch. I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to reach out to him. And he said, all right. He's like, good luck, getting a meeting with him, because it's hard to do. So I sent the guy a tailored letter that said, Mr. Walker, we appreciate, I appreciate the time, and he wasn't involved in everything, but I wanted to start off by making it really, kind of showing gratitude. And then I got into some of the specifics, knowing a little bit about their company, what they do, their organization. I did a little research, put some things in it like that. So I kind of tailored this letter to him. I showed some of the data points that we had used that he probably was left out of the conversation, and just asked him for a meeting up front. So a couple of weeks passed. I followed that up with a phone call. I said in the letter, and it was a very specific, tailored letter to him, but I said on this specific date I'm going to call you, which was the 25th, Monday the 25th. I said,
so you said that in the letter?
Yep. I said, I will call you on the 25th
to
see if we can schedule a time to meet. So we actually met this week. And so, sure enough, just like I said I would in the letter, I called him on Monday. Answered the phone, said, yeah, I got your letter here.
Which is, going back to some of our previous episodes, is commitment and consistency.
Consistency,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
You said this,
right.
You fulfilled your promise, so that even if he didn't pick up on it, like subconsciously he picks up on that was your thing. You were telling me earlier about the letter itself and what that looked like. Like, how did you make it stand out? Okay, so I've mentioned the company sent out cards a lot. I've used them for 9 years. A lot of people promote that as a business because it's a networking business, network marketing business. I've always used it as a marketing tool. I mean, I've been using their business for about 9-10 years actually, and so what I did uniquely is they offer different style cards that you can send out. They offer some that are like 3 or 4 ply that you can that fold out. But a new feature they offer is like 8.5 by 11, so it's like a full size. So it has
card.
To stand out.
Yeah, it stands out. So when you get this, it's in a 8.5 by 11 envelope. It says "Do not bend," so it actually looks like it's very important.
So it gets past the gatekeeper.
It gets past the gatekeeper, and so it went straight to his desk. And so he pulls it out, and on the very front it says, I want, something to the fact of thank you for your business or whatever, and it's, because they had done some business with me last year. So obviously start out by saying thank you, and so he opens that up, and it's like 2 pages on both sides of just the information laid out, starting the beginning, the first 2 paragraphs about him, their company, kind of doing some, based off of some research, what I found out about them. Appreciate all the people. You've got a great team based on the individuals that I talked to. So kind of letting him know that I've been involved with the company.
You spent a lot of time.
I've spent a lot of time. I've developed those relationships with those people that he didn't realize because he's up here. He's not watching everything.
As he should be.
As he should be. That's not his job, and that's why it didn't bother him. But he obviously got offended because business that their company had done business with a long time got cut out when I came in and offered him a better solution and a better product of the way they could be doing things. And so what happened was that company, all of a sudden they weren't getting any business, and who do they call? They call him, So I called Monday, as I said. He answers. He says, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I got your letter. Very receptive." So he said, "Yeah, we can meet Wednesday." We actually met Wednesday afternoon. Had a great conversation. And I'll tell you one of the things from the Michael Masterson book on power and persuasion. And I'll talk to that in just a second. But we got the meeting; it worked really well, and he's going to give me the opportunity to come back in, just because, and that's another thing from the Michael Masterson book. He talks about there's a section in it called negotiation. If you get the meeting, go in with one thing in mind. Right. Don't go in with I want to do all your, I want this, I want to help you guys with everything. Go in with one singleness of purpose, and my one singleness of purpose in that meeting was to say, Mr. Walker, what I would like to do is to have the opportunity to show you competitively how the process that I've showed your team can benefit you from, as I've mentioned from that data, how it can benefit you and save you, $50,000 or more per year. Yeah. And so from that, he's like, yeah, I'm willing to look at it.
I'm curious, what size company was this that 50,000?
This is probably a $50 million company.
So that's a good understanding. Like sometimes we can look at a big company like that and think, $50,000 doesn't mean anything.
No,
but it does.
It does,
especially because if it's a bottom line type 50,000. Yeah, where it comes right off the
absolutely
or adds to the bottom
huge.
Line.
Yeah.
So, it's funny you talk about Michael Masterson and the one principle. I actually just shared with one of my clients in our Slack group. an article from Michael Masterson where he talks about the power of one.
Oh, yeah.
When writing articles and writing any type of emails, any type of communication, because he's a writer first.
Right.
That's how he's made all his money, is helping businesses write, persuade, all that kind of stuff better. So it's interesting that article.
And Masterson's not his real name.
Yeah, Mark Ford. He actually now goes by Mark Ford, but those older books are Mike Masterson. Yeah, he's now known as Mark Ford, and he's got some great stuff for sure. So, man, we've already eaten up some time. We're only like 2 things down my list here, so I think maybe we should continue this for.
Yeah, we can cut this one short and start on our next episode.
Yeah, we'll do the next 2 beverages.
Yeah,
and
sounds like a plan.
We'll continue.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. You can find us again, persuasionbythepint.com. Find us on any of your podcast platforms, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, you name it. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.
Yeah, Persuasion by the Pint.